The latest edition of the CR7 Podcast. The RTGAC is back in today. You might see in the description that Dom Campanaro was supposed to be appearing on the CR7 Podcast, but due to late scheduling problems, he will not be appearing with us today. So before we
Is this working? I think it's working. This is working, right? All right. Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of the CR7 Podcast. I'm just going to do this whole thing over again. The RTGAC is back in today. We're coming to you live here from Community Period. The updates that I was trying to give, we didn't get into anything too.
Mike died on us.
Right, the mic died on us, so yeah.
Might not have an episode next week.
But might not have an episode next week. Cole will hopefully be in Florida for baseball. I'm going to tell my joke again. The CR7 Podcast wishes Cole all the best of luck, and by the CR7 Podcast, I mean me. We will be. We'll update you guys if there's a show next week, and if there is, we will be broadcasting it live on my YouTube channel at Ryan the Great RTG. And hopefully the mic doesn't die on us again. We have our producer Anthony Sorgi is here. And, Cole, say what's up to the people.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tried to talk to you guys a moment ago, but had some technical difficulties, but we are back nonetheless. So, like I said, afternoon vibes are great. Communities will be more frequent now, so we should, get back into the swing of things here in the afternoon more occasionally, I would say. I'm doing pretty well. Baseball's starting up, so can't ask for much more. Also, Ryan forgot to mention this. I don't know if the audio cut out or whatever. Dom Camp was supposed to be here today, but he is not here today because he's here today in the building, but the juniors have community scheduled. A little bit of a scheduling miscommunication, I would say. A little bit later, you receive word. So, anyways, want to get into the Sixers recap?
Yeah, so we will get into that in just a second here. We'll get into the breakdown. But I'm looking at the schedule here, and it looks like the week after we come back from spring break, we will be in the morning. And then really, for the most part, we should be like...
Afternoon.
Yeah, afternoon for like the majority part of the rest of the way going. So, and then we obviously get into our summer episodes. Yeah. So, getting into the breakdown, we will have our weekly Sixers recap. After Joel Embiid has been ruled out for the majority of the 2024-2025
More
season.
Importantly, Quentin Grimes.
Yes, that is very true. My video on the Sixers is coming out today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you guys go look at that. We'll be breaking down the Deebo Samuel trade to the Washington Commanders. Cole will be talking about BYU and how scary they will be next year. And then with March Madness around the corner, we will not have a Sully's top 5. We'll have a Cole's top 5. Of NCAA teams going into March Madness. And we'll be talking about Kevin Durant and the Phoenix Suns. Is his time up there? Cole will be giving out some way too early MLB awards. We'll get into Ryan's rants, and then we'll wrap it up for today. Cole, the Philadelphia 76ers, since the last time we spoke, I have to... I did not set up the schedule before we got here, but the last time we spoke, since the Philadelphia 76ers, it's been...
1-4.
Yeah, 1-4, so... Once again, not the greatest. They were able to pick up a win the other night against the Golden State Warriors. Talk about this team.
Yeah, it's Quentin Grimes' show. 44 last night. Obviously, I wasn't watching the game because I didn't expect much, but tuned in for the fourth quarter, and, we get a dub at home against the Dubs, so, I am pretty happy. Little Sixers win going into the week. Drummond was solid on the boards. Maxey struggled from the field, but he had 11 assists, so he did okay in that category. He had 30 against New York as well, so and we only lost to New York by 5, so I'll give us some credit. We're doing a little bit better as of late, especially a lot better than that Chicago Bulls blowout. But yeah, I mean, there's really not much to break down here. I like what Quentin Grimes has been doing, just other guys, and obviously Joel Embiid's out for the season, so we are virtually done. It is officially time to tank, but as long as Quentin Grimes is on the team, I don't know if we're tanking so far yet. But I do enjoy the show that he put on last night. Maybe I'll get down to a game because the tickets are super cheap. But
we should definitely get to one. Look at this tonight. Yeah. Tickets low as $2.
Yeah, I know.
That's insane.
Yeah, we could see the Pelicans as well.
When is this game?
Oh, I'm not sure. Oh, nope, that's at New Orleans.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be some good games later here if you want to see like a playoff team like the Bucks or something. So yeah, maybe the CR7 Podcast will make an appearance at one of these Sixers games.
We did last year.
We did. We were at the play-in game last year.
That was a good game.
Yeah, Nicholas Batum saved us there, but and the guys next to us. I mean, it was pretty.
Bunch of dogs. I love.
It was a pretty elite atmosphere. I
hope
that.
They're making like $100,000 per year. I love those guys. Were great. Yeah. But anyway,
well, it's safe to say we had a good experience.
We did. A correction though, the Sixers are 1-2 since the last time we spoke. But nonetheless, the game against Chicago. I mean, what an unmitigated disaster. They just look terrible defensively. Giving up way too many easy baskets. That's been a problem with the Sixers, and you'll hear me talk about it later tonight. That the no Embiid, I feel, has been the biggest problem, and the Sixers have not been able to get any chemistry because of his on and off playing. And then the game against New York, I mean, they started off pretty bad. They were hot though. I mean, Bridges was making everything. Brunson was hot as well. It didn't really matter what kind of shots they were taking; they were making them. Oh, that's a good run. But yeah, the Knicks were on fire, and then I don't even think it was the Knicks went cold. The Sixers figured it out. Paul George, Tyrese Maxey, they were hitting some shots, and they were making contested shots. I know they were doing a bit better from three in the later stages of the game, but obviously the deficit was not too. It was too big, to come back from, and it just was not a good. Not good in the end. And then they get the win against the Warriors. I mean, I don't even know if we want to win anymore based off the fact of how great that this draft class is. You're looking at guys like Dylan Harper and Cooper Flagg, and then they got this 7'2" guy out of Duke as well. Mm-hmm. So, Ace Bailey's another. I would really like to take him. He's one of my favorites, especially with the way he would fit our team. But anyway, we'll get into that, I guess, during the summer. And, I mean, the win against the Warriors was good. It really was Curry doing everything for them. But Quentin Grimes played great. I mean, he wasn't missing as well. He looked like Mikal Bridges in the game against the Knicks that we had. And, he was incredible. Curry was really the only guy doing anything for Golden State. Yeah. But in the end, we gave up 3 straight turnovers, which resulted in 3 straight dunks for the Golden State Warriors in transition, which, the chemistry thing, which I feel is the biggest problem with the Sixers. I mean, it's too little, too late.
Well, we also acquired a bunch of guys at the deadline. We
do have a bunch of young guys, but I feel right now that if you just shut Paul George down, you'll get the chance for guys like Ricky Council, Justin Edwards, who is a Emotep guy, Jared Butler. Like these 3 guys can really contribute. Lonnie Walker's another that we just signed. I don't anticipate that he'll stay.
Want to know where he's from? Reading, PA.
Really, I didn't know this. But yeah. So I feel like if we shut Paul George down, we'll get more time for these guys who can help next year. You have Jared McCain coming back. Quentin Grimes will probably come back. I mean, imagine hypothetically the Sixers get the number 1 pick. You have and saying you possibly keep Embiid. You have a lineup of Maxey, Grimes, Paul George, Flag, and Embiid, and say, hell, even if you get Ace Bailey. Or what about the guy out of Duke and you trade Embiid? I mean, like, if we could just, like, as much as I like hate to say it, if we just lose, we will be in so good, and we can like
shape,
get rid of like the old, like if we do trade Embiid.
I will say, you said Quentin Grimes starting shooting guard. I mean, it's gonna be Jared McCain.
Oh, I forgot. I did forget about McCain. You are correct about that. The real rookie of the year. But anyway, we have a little bit. I just want to have. We have a little bit here. And I'm not going to talk that much about
a little sliver of news.
I won't talk a lot about Deebo Samuel, but I just want to talk about this. John Cena turned heel for the first time in 22 years. Cole, I know you saw it. I know you saw the clip. It is all over the world. Oh, Jimmy Johnson's retiring from Fox. That's sad. But anyway, that is the. Now, I'm going to say this right here, right now. Cole, you might not understand how big this is.
Yeah.
Now, I know we don't have Combat Hour anymore. That obviously faded in dust.
I mean, dude, this is your this is our platform.
I know, it's true, but I think we got to do another.
Take this opportunity.
But anyway, I think that John Cena's heel turn is it's tough. It could be bigger than Hulk Hogan's heel turn at Bash at the Beach 1996. But I don't know, because Hulk Hogan's heel turn was the first of its kind. Like, nobody expected Hollywood Hulk Hogan. No one and their grandmother. That was the biggest shocker in wrestling history, and it was the first of its kind. Like, because of how big Hulk Hogan was. But I feel Hogan's could be bigger because he was more active at the time. But still, Cena's could be bigger because it's his final run, and nobody would expect him to turn heel on his final run and join The Rock of all people. We'll get into Travis Scott a bit later. But that I feel, I don't know. I just don't know if it's bigger than Hulk Hogan's heel turn at Bash at the Beach 96. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. I'm excited because everybody was saying, the build of WrestleMania is not that great. It's this, that, or the other. It's gone from like 5 to 100 now of how big the build is now for WrestleMania. And I'm excited because WrestleMania is finally not on the weekend of the Final Four. They moved it to April 19th and April 20th. And, in Las Vegas this year. And we already have 4 matches booked. I'm so ready for the build to WrestleMania. I don't think anybody understands the level of magnitude. Even the diehard wrestling fans like myself don't understand the level of magnitude of John Cena turning heel. The look I had on my face when he kicked him in the... I don't think I can say what I want to say on the WSJP in the genitals. I mean, the look I had on my... I was like... it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. Even the beatdown after was bad, too. All right. Anyway, we're moving on. Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel has been traded to the Washington Commanders. He will be traded for a 2025... It is a 2025 fifth-round pick. Yeah, it is. Yep. This trade will take place in the new league year on March 12th. Sorge, that'd be a good stream to do. The start of the NFL new season for free agency, but we'll see. That'd be a good stream. But anyway, we'll figure that out when we get there. But anyway, Deebo Samuel traded for a fifth-round pick. I'll be honest with you, Cole. I like this trade more for the 49ers than I do for the Commanders. And I'm going to tell you why. You have the San Francisco 49ers. Deebo Samuel, big cap hit, owed $17 million next season. He's been hurt. His yards after the catch has gone down, over the past couple of years. You look at that, and it's not like you're lacking in wide receiver talent. You have a guy like Brandon Ayuk, who's obviously going to be coming back from the ACL tear, but, it is what it is. Then you have Jawan Jennings, who's a deep threat. You have Ricky Pearsall. I just think he needs to get a little bit more of lower body strength so he can be able to break tackles. But he's a very good receiver on the second level and can also has great hands. Christian McCaffrey can catch the ball in the backfield. George Kittle is still there. Your offensive line's getting a bit older. They do have a decent draft pick, though, so hopefully they can fix that in the draft for them, at least. I don't want them to improve. But the San Francisco, and you save this cap space so you can sign guys like Brock Purdy, so you can sign guys like Fred Ward in the secondary. So, and Deebo Samuel, I'm not saying he's broken goods because he is 29 years old, but he definitely has taken a step back. There's obviously has been always a tension, I guess you should say, between the 49ers and and Deebo Samuel ever since that contract extension. I think it was just better to move on. Now, when it comes to the Washington Commanders, this move can work, but when it comes to Deebo Samuel, your offense might get a little bit too predictable. I was reading that the Commanders last year, 11% of their wide receiver targets were on screens. Deebo Samuel's used a lot on screens. I think he needs to move back to that running back spot just a little bit. I think you need to move on from Austin Eckler. I think you need to move Deebo Samuel a bit into that running back spot just so you can have a little bit more diversity in your offense. Take the Eagles, for example, who they faced in the NFC Championship game. The Eagles, they have great tacklers on the outside. You look into Kobe Dean, Zach Bond, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Cooper DeJean. I was just about to mention him as well. Heck, even Quinyon Mitchell can tackle pretty well. So, you have good tacklers. You have guys that can get off blocks on the outside. And then the deep threat's not always going to work every single time. You have a Quinyon Mitchell on the outside who plays good against the one-on-one. You have a guy like Isaiah Rodgers there. It's like cutting out from the Eagles. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'm excited for Isaiah Rodgers next season. He's a very good one-on-one corner on the outside. You saw him against the Cincinnati Bengals. I think it was a tip pass against Jamar Chase to a C.J. Gardner-Johnson interception. Even Kayla Ringo has improved on his defense on the outside when it comes to one-on-one coverage. So that, post route bomb, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Reed Blankenship are over the middle. So, just a screen-based, deep threat type of offense and running up the gut every single time is not going to work against teams like the Philadelphia Eagles and the Detroit Lions. I think if you move Deebo Samuel and back into that running back spot just a little bit, you can, have a bit more diversity in your offense and switch up your personnel.
I would even say the Packers, too.
Yeah, even the Packers, they have good tacklers as well. So, I feel like you need to move him there so, to have a little bit more diversity in your offense. And not to say Deebo Samuel can't run routes, but it looks like, with the injuries, he might have gotten a bit slower. He's never really been that great in getting out of his break. You need a little bit more diversity. But I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, I don't have much to say. I do think the 49ers do benefit a lot from this, like you said, clearing up the cap space and whatnot. So I do like that aspect of it. But I think this is more beneficial for the Commanders just because, I realize there's not a big difference between the receiving yards that McLaurin had, but he went from 4 touchdowns to 13 touchdowns. So, what more can you ask for? And I think that Deebo will strive in this type of environment, just strictly because of Jaden McDaniels, and we know he's going to develop. He could have a sophomore slump, but I don't think that's going to happen, especially with the way he performed last year. So yeah, I think this is better for them because again, they didn't have a great wide receiver core last year, and they did. They went to the NFC Championship game with it. So I don't have a problem at all with this. I like this trade a lot for the Commanders. 5th round pick, it's not that big of a deal.
It's the market.
Yeah. It's just the market at this point, like Ryan said. I really don't have much more on this. So Ryan?
Yeah, I think you need to get a little bit more diversity in your offense. Now, I think the guys like Cliff Kingsbury, who did a great job last year, might be able to figure it out. But, I think you just you just need to just get some more diversity in your offense. And I think for San Francisco, you're losing a good talent, but you obviously have a guy that can help you reload at your wide receiver spot, and a guy that showed promise. He's pretty tough too. The guy got shot and came back about 5 weeks after. I'm not even trying to joke. That happened. Yeah, that's a fact.
Same with the Commanders.
Right. Yeah. What's his face? Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah,
you got some toughness there. But I'm looking at this here. Joel Embiid is considered going to Germany to undergo the same procedure as Kobe Bryant. I don't like what I guess for what
prevention or whatever. Yeah.
I guess
no reaction at this moment in time.
Yeah, we don't even know if he'll be back with the Sixers next season, so I don't know.
All right,
we'll move on.
Move on to BYU.
Yeah, move on to college basketball. So Cole, you have some stuff to say about Brigham Young University and then you got to give your top 5 teams in college basketball at the current moment in time.
I'm pretty fired up about this. All right, so first I will talk about BYU. I think that they're going to be, if not a top 10 team, they will be, what I think they might be the favorite or one of the favorites to win the national title next year. Because first off, I mean, you have a really young core. Your only real starter who is, a senior is Trevin Knell. And, you can easily replace that spot with, another guy coming off the bench like Dawson Baker, just someone to fill that spot. And I know that, because A.J. DeBance, the number 1 recruit in the country, is going there, like, you're going to get guys out of the portal. I mean, it's just a given. People are going to want to be there. You got a great student atmosphere. Obviously, you're looking to get guys minutes, and I think that they can definitely, get a SEC guy, get someone who is, has a complete game and can compete now. So, I mean, you got 1 year with A.J. DeBansta. He's going to the league after that. But, I mean, you need to capitalize on that time span. So, I mean, I think that they're very good now, and they got a chance to make a run, similar to like an NC State or whatever. But, I mean, they definitely have ability in the future to, be a top program. So, especially with their recruiting class and, the money that they have. So, I really like what they've been doing. My top 5, number 1, Auburn. Joni Broom is Player of the Year. Number 2, Duke. Cooper Flagg is probably my, obviously, Freshman of the Year, ACC Freshman of the Year. I think that they make it to the Final Four as well. Houston is my 3. They have the best defense in all of college basketball. And then my number 4, I mean, I've been kind of going back and forth on this. I think I'm going to go with Florida just because, they handled Auburn pretty well when they versed them. Probably won by, 15 or whatever. I wanted to go Alabama, but after this recent Tennessee loss that they had where they choked the lead or whatever, it's just not they're not in my top 5. Wait, did I only give top 4? I only give top 4, my bad. So Tennessee will be my 5.
Okay. No,
so you got St. John's.
Yeah, I mean,
I love their head coach.
Yeah, Rick Pitino. I was gonna say, like, they got some experience there. They could possibly win the Big East. I mean, they have some big wins over Big East opponents. They obviously lost to
they locked down Marquette.
Yeah, they lost to the you know who they lost to though?
Mm-hmm.
Villanova. That's who they lost to. I'll tell you that much.
I know we have a Marquette fan in the room producing, so
obviously Villanova is going nowhere, but
I mean, but Eric Dixon is going to get drafted. So.
He's a wasted season. Hopefully, the only place anybody in Villanova is going is Kyle Neptune out the door. Hopefully for us, because he has been a disaster since he's gotten here, and he is the one person you do not replicate on how to use the portal.
Villanova, the downfall of Jay Wright, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean I don't know if anybody knows the story about Jay Wright leaving Villanova, or retiring Villanova, but nonetheless, I like St. John's as well to be.
I do.
To be
dark horse.
I think even BYU right now, they're on a 6-game winning streak.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could possibly go far in the tournament.
Yeah.
I do really like them. I don't know. Currently, right now, I mean, I don't even think last year I had what's his face. I had Auburn not Auburn. I had UConn as a lock to win it all. I didn't see any team beating them. I don't feel the same way about Auburn this year.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Duke can
You
win
could definitely say that because they lost to Duke. They lost to Florida.
I think I think Iowa State is a really good team as well. And their game against BYU is big. That's a big game. If they can beat a rising BYU right now, that's a big game as well. Obviously, they've gone down a little bit here.
I don't like Iowa State.
I
don't think they're the real deal.
They've gone down, but I think they're still a good team. And listen, it's March Madness. That's the reason it's called Madness, Cole.
Yeah, I know. Did you watch the Tennessee-Alabama game?
Yes, I did.
Oh, my gosh.
I'll never forgive Jack Golke for ruining my bracket last year. I had Kentucky going to the whole thing. I had Kentucky going to the chip.
Yeah, March Madness legend.
Yeah.
Who's the guy from St. Peter's?
Oh, I forget his name.
Yeah.
Doug something?
Doug.
McDermott?
Yeah, no.
No, it wasn't Doug McDermott. He's in the NBA.
Doug McDermott's in the NBA.
What's the guy's name?
I don't even know.
Doug. No, it's definitely Doug something.
So we're just looking it up and we'll move on. we've covered everything there. Let's get into the Phoenix Suns.
Suns.
Dog eater.
There you go, Doug Eater. Yeah. He was
something else.
They beat Purdue and all that.
Beat
It's a
Purdue.
Google recommended search. St. Peter's basketball mustache guy.
St. Peter's basketball mustache guy. I don't think the microphone picked it up. But anyway, let's get into the Phoenix Suns here. Who will look like a disaster right now? They are what, like one out of their last 5? Yeah, one out of their last 5. They were on a 3-game losing streak. Their defense is terrible. The problem with that team is leadership. I think that Mike Budenholzer telling Devin Booker to step it back is a wild move. And if it took us by surprise, we know it. Well, there is a report that Devin Booker was very taken by surprise in the fact that Budenholzer told him to take a step back. And I'd like to bring up the quote that Mr. Henderzak brought out when I was on the freshman football team. Player-led team will beat a coach-led team every single time. Now, obviously, that is not translating to the Phoenix Suns, but it certainly is not going to hurt them if a player is helping them in the locker room. You saw a team. I also like to make an example or a connection to France. I don't know if you saw the Court of Gold documentary on Netflix. The great documentary, by the way, about the Summer Olympics. When France lost its game, I don't know if it was Canada in one of the exhibition games, Nicolas Batum was screaming in the locker room how they got to get this all figured out. And I feel like there isn't really a direction with the Phoenix Suns and how they're going about this. And the ownership ruined it themselves. I'm not a big fan of their owner. It seems like he's just trying to create all-star teams and not trying to find any balance. He traded for Kevin Durant really quickly.
Yeah.
He traded way too many assets. Yeah. He gave up Mikal Bridges. He gave up Cam Johnson, multiple draft picks. You had a core in Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton for a lesser, Bridges and Ayton for a lesser degree.
Jay Crowder when they went to that.
Right, for the finals. You had a core. Now, I think that Chris Paul, you need someone like Chris Paul back on your team right now because Bradley Beal is the biggest problem. There really isn't much of a place for him. The Suns are never going to deviate away from Booker. Durant can fit into any system, but Beal is not a point guard. There really isn't any way to fit him in to this team, but he's not going to be traded. So, trading Kevin Durant.
And the issue with Beal is, just strictly the fact that, he's not. I just don't think he's a winner. I mean, he came from Washington. They don't have any system there or real structure in that organization. And they've been bad for a number of years, shipping guys in and out constantly. But he usually was there, and now he just is with the Suns, and he can't really fit in because I don't know. It's just not a fit roster.
It's the system.
Yeah,
it's a bad system.
But on paper, this team should be, definitely
they should be
a playoff team.
A playoff team, but I don't think a championship team because there's no look at the depth. I've been saying it for the past couple of years. Look at the teams that have won championships. The Denver Nuggets. They had Christian Braun. They had Jeff Green. They had Bruce Brown, who was great at the time. That team won a championship. As much as I hate to say it, Boston looked really great last year with their. They had Hauser. Cornette was providing good minutes, and even got Pritchard as well. And you could even call guys like Derek White and Drew Holiday sort of role players as well. Even Porzingis at times. So teams with great, Horford. I forgot to mention him. Teams with great depth win championships.
I mean, Suns got Colin Gillespie, so I mean they got depth.
That is true. So. But there is no the Suns, and then also the Suns coming out and saying that they're trading Durant, and then him to also put fuel to the fire by going on Draymond Green's show and talking about it as well.
Yeah, there's so much drama, and even with Yusuf Nurkic at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, they benched him. I mean,
they benched him, traded him.
You have to trade him.
Just drama in the Suns organization.
Yeah, you have to trade. You probably have to. Beal's the biggest problem, but he can't go anywhere because of the trade clause. No trade clause. Yeah. But in breaking news, the Bengals are officially placing the franchise tag on T. Higgins. This is $26.2 million. And obviously he wanted to be traded last year. My prediction is him to go to the Los Angeles Chargers. And in response, T. Higgins tweeted out, whatever you want to say, the word tag, no capitals, and a period at the end. So it's obvious that he doesn't seem too happy with that. But Cole, you have some awards to give out, or some early awards to give out, I should say.
Yeah,
for the MLB.
I will give out some early awards. So
upcoming season.
I'll start with the MVP. AL, I'm going to go Aaron Judge. I think it's the only, I guess you could say logical answer, but I mean, there's some acceptable options. You could go Corey Seager, Jose Ramirez, Jordan Alvarez, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but I don't think the Blue Jays will be that good, so I don't think he'll be in the conversation. But yeah, I do think it's going to be Aaron Judge, strictly because of everyone watches the Yankees, so it's such a big market and he's such a big player. Even if he slightly underperforms, he always catches fire at some point in the year. So yeah, I don't think you can say it's anyone else. He's in his prime. He just went to the World Series. He's been hitting bombs in spring training. So yeah, I really like that. NL, you have to say Ohtani, especially with the fact that he could be pitching in July or whatever. There's just no way you can't say him. I will give my runner-up, and it's going to be Juan Soto. You could put Tatis in the conversation just because he's a Gold Glover. I think that Soto is better just because of the hitting. And again, New York, big market. I think that they're going to promote him a lot.
I say Harper's
MLB.
due for a big season as well.
Yeah, Harper is due, but I think his production will be muffled a little bit just because of the strength around him in the order, because I don't know if Schwarber will be leadoff this year. There's some questions. What?
Who do you think could lead off?
I mean, Trey Turner.
That's
or if Bryson Stott, if he put in work in the offseason. Obviously, he batted 300 in 2022 or whatever it was, or close to it.
I guess.
So he could have a bounce back year. They could move him to the beginning lineup. But anyways, nonetheless, I will continue to move on. Cy Young AL. I'm going to go back-to-back with Tarek Skubal. I really like what he's been doing. I think that the Tigers will win the NL Central. I think that could be a hot take, but, I definitely see him. I think he'll win it. I think the Royals could be – that's another – Bobby Witt could win AL MVP if he continues his production, and Aaron Judge maybe has a little bit of a slump halfway through the year or whatever. But, yeah, so far, Judge AL MVP, Ohtani NL MVP, and Skubal AL Cy Young. NL Cy Young, I'm going with Paul Skeens. I think this is pretty self-forward. I mean, he had 170 strikeouts through 132 innings last year in the limited time that he got in the big league. So, I mean, there's really no way you can't say that. AL Rookie of the Year. I'm just gonna go with Jacob Wilson from the A's. Just because he's going to get a lot of opportunities, especially being a young guy, and the A's have zero talent other than Brent Rooker and Mason Miller, so he'll have some solid production for them. And now, between two guys, really, Roki Sasaki and Dylan Cruz. Could be either one. I think Sasaki might be the favorite at this point in time, just because there's not a lot of pressure, especially, and he's going to win a lot of games just being a starter for the Dodgers. And Dylan Cruz is going to face a lot of tough talent in the NL East, so it could get a little shaky for him at some point. But Yamamoto didn't have an incredible start to the season last year, so could see something similar with Sasaki. And he did get taken deep by White Sox prospect Teal in his first whatever it is, live AB of spring training. So I don't know. I'm going Sasaki for now, but don't be surprised with Dylan Cruz.
I think
any critiques?
I think that I'm not. Once again, I always say the farm system better than I do. So not too many comments on the Rookie of the Year. I would say that if Ohtani pitches this season and if he sticks with the level of production he's been at over the past couple of years, it's going to be unanimous. Yeah, exactly. That he will win the MVP. I'm not a fan of Soto. I think he needs to get in better shape.
Yeah.
His conditioning and all that.
So you like Tatis runner-up?
Possibly.
Glove?
Bryce
Yeah.
Harper's another as well.
Yeah,
To throw
we
in
said
there.
him, yeah.
I like him right now. But yeah, Ryan's rants, and then we'll wrap things up. Get into it. Let's go.
All right, first topic, we got LeBron saying no one should want to be the face of the league.
All right, what in God's name is this man talking about? This is the guy that created the super team in Miami, wore number 23, the highest level of prestige when it comes to a jersey in the NBA. Then he makes another marketing move, goes back to Cleveland. Then he goes to the most historical franchise in NBA history in the Los Angeles Lakers. And yes, it's more the Celtics might be better, but we're talking about historic. It's the Los Angeles Lakers. And then he wears number 6 there with Bill Russell and all that. And then he changes back to number 23, still replicating with Michael Jordan and all that because he wanted to be like Michael Jordan. Then goes back on his statements. He's a billionaire, for God's sakes. He's in all these movies and all that. Great entrepreneur and all that good stuff. But man, how can you say you don't want to be the face of the league and nobody should be the face of the league because all we do is, talk crap about the league when you are literally the face of the league yourself and you're not even shying away from it because of your actions. Not saying you can't do stuff to make more money. Also, his millions of dollars of deal with Nike is another one. That is the embodiment of the face of the league right there. Next topic.
Chet Holmgren's injuries.
Chet Holmgren's got to get it figured out because of the fact that the Oklahoma City Thunder need some damn chemistry to get themselves ready to go. You got to make a playoff push. The Lakers are looking great right now. You got the Nuggets. You got the Warriors are on the rise right now. The Clippers are a dark horse team. You got a lot of great teams. Chet Holmgren, you've had so much time to get your legs under you, get back from injuries, get on the court so the Oklahoma City Thunder can finally get themselves a damn championship, man. What are we doing?
People complaining about Travis Scott.
You just heard me talk about how great the John Cena heel turn was. Who cares if Travis Scott was in the ring for it? I don't care. It's ridiculous. You're just trying to find something to complain about. I'm comparing this to Hulk Hogan's heel turn at Bash at the Beach 96, and you're telling me that Travis Scott ruined the whole thing? Who cares? John Cena just turned heel. We're ready to go on one of the greatest WrestleMania builds of all time, and we're complaining about some rapper who also has this official song for WrestleMania. He's in the ring and getting a little physical. The guy's supposed to wrestle anyway, so why not, get him physical now? It doesn't make any sense. I'm not complaining about everything.
All right.
But anyway.
Two shout-outs before we head out.
Yeah.
Shout out to the chosen one, a.k.a. LeBron James, face of the league.
Yes.
And also shout out Quentin Grimes.
Yes.
All right.
Shout out Quentin Grimes,
wrap
Cole.
this thing up.
You got to go. You got work to do. I did my work yesterday, so I don't got to spend time making 5 videos when I go home. So, Cole, you got to get to work. We will hopefully see you when you're in Florida next week. And, you'll see me today and tomorrow. 2 videos going to be posted. Committed to the grind. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, that'll do it for the latest edition of the CR7 Podcast, guys. Sorgie's actually going to end it for us this time, and we will see